This is Things You Might Not Have Heard. I am Jacob and Payne, bringing you 8 stories that are queued up today from yesterday, the past, to here to now, that you deem as conversational, covering information, politics, current events, and pop culture news. We're not covering sports so much today. We'll have some sports in there, but I want to say right off the bat, congratulations to the Florida Gators getting the win last night in the men's national championship for the NCAA in basketball over the Houston Cougars in a very tight game from start to finish. Now, we aren't talking about them specifically because we have to talk about Harriet Tubman, so that's that. So in the queue, Harriet Tubman, we have Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's being mama bear this time, not so much mean. People are misunderstanding her in this case, and Stephen A. Smith. And if you're watching the video, you see the teaser graphic, which brings to mind Aaron Neville and Don't Know Much in so many ways, including the title of the song, and of course him going, "Look at this face." So there you go. Look at that face. That face could be 48, maybe. But let's get into the headlines, all 8 of them for today. And I want to remind you right now, our sponsor for the day is Sports Integrity. More about them in a moment. And our website home, thisisconversationproject.com, where you can find out all you need to know about us. Look at my face and things like that. Plus, email me and talk about my face, my voice, my stories at theconversationinbox@gmail.com. Tuesday, April the 8th, 2025 is the day. No particular order that these 8 stories are being presented, but we'll explain to you when we wrap up all the headlines, get to the teaser section on why they are here, how they're here, and how you literally got them here. This is all your fault, unfortunately. We're not talking about basketball because Harriet Tubman, it's kind of your fault. Let's get on to the big news, the greatest story that's basically ongoing, and it is Trump tariffs and Trump policy and Trump basically destroying economic markets. The headline for the first story we're reporting this morning is stocks fall after a day of wild swings as market react to Trump's tariff policies. There was some weirdness in the market for yesterday, but volatility is essentially the word we need to get into our vocabularies and understand that. Closing with notable losses were the markets yesterday after Trump has reacted to how the tariffs are working. He's had a interviewed, I'm not sure if it was before or after the markets closed, but talking about the markets as he was asked directly, is this a bargaining chip or is these things forever to make money? And he said, well, it could be a bargaining chip and it could be a forever thing. It can be both. Some people are actually trying to explain that away. S&P lost about 1% yesterday. Other markets also lost as well. Big losses to the Magnificent Seven stocks, which include Apple, Tesla, Alphabet, and Microsoft. Lots of declines going forward. Right now, the word on the street is buy the dip. Buy the dip, because at some point in time, these things will increase. These things will get better. These things will get fixed, go back to some level. So you buy them on the low if you have the money, the means, and then keep them for forever. We're not actually advertising Robinhood today, but Robinhood's an app that I advertise for many things I do, including here, that if you're a Robinhood user or you have a broker, talk to them about buying some more shares of a few things while you have a few extra bucks now, because you may not have a few extra bucks later and the prices will go back up. That's what's going forward. Everyone's saying to basically chill, keep your powder dry, hold on what's happening. Now's not the time to bail yet. Now's the time to try to get yourself back into the market if you have been out for a while, or buy a few extra things because things will get better. The problem is, as things swing back and forth and we wait for a deadline of tomorrow where these things actually start to hit, we'll see just what the real future looks for all of us and what to do financially. My recommendation, I am not a stock analyst. I'm not saying this as a way to make you any money. I do not have the license. This is just by my standpoint and what I'm personally doing is I'm upping for the next couple of months, adding a little bit extra to what I'm putting in my automatic Robinhood account to some stocks that I like that are down so far that I'm pretty sure will stick around. Coca-Cola getting extra money from me. We'll see what happens with some of the other ones going forward. Oh, yeah, about that. Treasury Secretary says that retirees aren't worried about their daily market fluctuations. In a carryover from the last story, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent recently addressed the concerns regarding the impact of market volatility on individuals who are reaching retirement. Those are folks who don't have time to buy the dip because they need the money right now. This is an interview on NBC News on Meet the Press from Sunday. He basically stated that Americans preparing for retirement typically do not focus on day-to-day fluctuations, which is not true. In the stock market, he emphasized that most retirement portfolios are diversified and comprising of a mix of stocks and bonds, which are all down, and help mitigate the short-term market swings. which are very, very deep. Now, Besson also downplayed the fears of impending recessions, citing strong economic growth as an indicator of economic resilience. He acknowledged that current market volatility is attributed to an adjustment process stemming from the recent tariff implementations and suggesting that long-term economic fundamentals remain robust. But that's the thing. Financial advisors echo his sentiments, basically saying, hold tight, don't pull any money out early. Make sure you hold on for a while because the long term is long term. The biggest issue is if you need this money tomorrow, you've kind of got an issue. If you need this money 10 years from now, you'll probably be fine because this low turn right now will mean a chance for some of those stocks to rebound very, very, very forcefully, which means that the money you put in on the low end now will mean more money in the future. That being said, if you need the money today, you've got issues. There's a lot of stories that we put on the cutting room floor because of Harriet Tubman. We do that because she deserves all the flowers that we can give to her, number one. But number two, another flip-flop of the administration. Who exactly pulled the trigger and fixed it, I don't know. But we have from Snopes, of all places, our source for today's article at number 3. National Park Service restores Harriet Tubman info to Underground Railroad webpage after backlash. They had a different headline, but that's what happened. The National Park Service, we'll call NPS going forward, has restored the content from Harriet Tubman to its original Underground Railroad webpage, originally as it was stated, 3 days ago, after a public backlash following its removal. What happened was they removed a quote from Harriet Tubman and her image, replaced it with content emphasizing black and white cooperation. Now, to be fair, they didn't take away all of Tubman. They took away Harriet Tubman picture by herself and put in pictures from the Underground Railroad stamps collections, which is fine, I guess, but also rewrote the actual article to make it sound more like the cooperation that took for whites and blacks all to run the Underground Railroad, as opposed to the fact that the railroad was based on getting slaves freed from the South to the North, where they can hopefully live better lives. All because President Donald Trump is trying to eliminate diversity, equity, and inclusion when the Underground Railroad, the diversity, equity, inclusion are actually the white people involved in getting people up down the Underground Railroad. It's actually the white people helping the slaves go up. And of course, not talking about slavery, because that would be equity, inclusion, I guess. So advocacy groups basically were like, this is diminishing the contributions of people of color in American history. This is rewriting history. This is not how it happened. Here's how it actually happened. We can add contributions to other folks, but let's not get rid of the original thing that what actually happened and why we're teaching this. We have taught Harriet Tubman, pointing guns in people's faces and making sure they made their way up north by her hands, and her, of course, becoming a honorary general in posthumously, going forward with that one. But there have been plenty of alterations we've talked about all over the place on these federal websites, talking about history, talking about military stuff, specifically with Tuskegee Airmen, specifically with women who have served, specifically with the Navajo code talkers who literally won the war for us, yet don't exist because apparently they were DEI hires, because they literally were the only people who could do the thing they did, talk in their language and have an unbreakable code. History is being sort of pruned and trimmed and rewritten and sort of reshuffled, and you have to be careful about that. History is a thing that should be added on to as you learn more things, but with the added on to, this is what we had before, here's something new, let's reconcile it, as opposed to, let's get rid of this big chunk of stuff back in the past, because you know what? It makes people feel bad. This suit, this face, the cheesy poof memes, and all that comes along with it may be a part of your next presidential complaint fest, because Stephen A. Smith says he's leaving all doors open to run for president. Now, I'm going to read from an article in a minute, but basically what came out of this sort of gibberish is that he don't want to run for president. He doesn't want to be president, but with all that's going on, he cannot ignore the call that may come to him. And if he gets the call, he will step up to it. That's what he's saying. Expressing his openness to running in 2028 on a post on X and in some interviews back and forth. He put in the X post, "Time to stop messing around. Life is great, especially at ESPN and Disney. Hate the thought of being a politician, but sick of all this mess. So I'm officially leaving all doors open." Not throwing his name out into the hat, not doing anything that's going to actually ruin his contract at the ABC, ESPN, Disney Plus place. But yeah, Stephen A. throwing his hat in the ring, or his mic in the ring, I guess, at the National Broadcasters Association show in Las Vegas, NAB, as the folks in business call it. He elaborated on his change of heart, and it's really is a change of heart. I guess somebody joked, like people do, hey man, if you know so much, why don't you run for president? Which we all get at some point in time, and he's sort of blowing it off and did what he can. But this is not yelling against Skip Bayless or Shannon Sharp in a studio with fake commentary, where the whole point is to get really, really loud. This is actually yelling across at Putin and Kim Jong Un, and maybe even that Le Pen lady, if she gets out and gets to run for president in a little bit. This is actually a big deal going forward, and this is policy and stuff. And this is not to say that Stephen A. is not a smart guy. He is uber intelligent and knows what he's talking about, to the point that he knows what he's talking about when it seems like he doesn't know what he's talking about, i.e., he's a politician. He's playing to an audience. He's giving you guys what you want to hear and throwing in some things that you might not want to in the mix to make it all work out. So he's not saying he's running for president. He's not saying he wants to get political. He's not saying he has some big agenda item. But if enough people ask and they throw a little money at him, he might do it. He complains about the Democrats, complains about the Republicans, don't know which party he's going to, but we will see what will happen going forward. Whether this is a idle threat, whether this is a publicity stunt, it is the second, or whether this is the real deal and Stephen A. may come in to fix our world fairly soon. Pause from the news articles for just a bit. We gave you 4. We promised you 4 more. They are coming. But first, we need a little something from you to make things work a little better for all of us. We need to grow this here thing we have called the Conversation Project, growing in one of these branches under More Bitter Media. And here, since you are actively watching this video, you can help. You can like this video. And if you like this video, you're telling me that the stories I picked for today, even though I'm not talking about the big story, which is the basketball game, and I'm talking about Harriet Tubman and some other immigration stuff, because we have to, you like what we're covering. We don't just stick to the big things that are on the mainstream all day long because they have to hit those numbers. We get you a big, good mix of stories, and you actually help us pick those stories. All part of the mix. We'll explain that in the ending when we get to the teaser story part. Like what you're seeing by physically clicking the button to like the video, or whatever emoji face you're doing for your TikTok. For your Facebook, or the heart for X. And we'll see that. The algorithms will also see that it's being engaged with, so it will show it to other people natively. And hopefully, if you know people who like this, who enjoy my commentary, enjoy my news coverage, and maybe this face, have them or share it with them. Maybe they will like it and share as well. If you're not getting this native in your feed, whether the algorithm shared it up to you today and you watched us, or someone shared it with you directly so you saw us and you like us, subscribe so we get into your feed every single day. This show here comes into your feed 5 days a week, along with a weekend wrap-up show. So if you want to get this in your feed or other things from other places, stop by our website and see other places to be involved in. Audio podcasts, also email newsletter, and the hot takes we put on the TikTok, because you got to get some TikTok in there. If you like us, you want to see more people like you, like us, share us. And if you're not getting us natively into your feeds, subscribe today. We are going to move away from weather for a bit. Now, severe weather has been hampering the south, southeast areas, actually all across the nation in various places the past couple of weekends. 2 weekends ago, they had serious snow and hail. Last weekend, we had serious rains, flooding, and tornadoes. This upcoming weekend, we may get a little bit more. We're not quite sure how that's working out, so your Easter parades may have some issues for your Easter parades. But a big issue that was an overtaking from last weekend rolling into Monday was the Masters. And yes, we're not talking about NCAA basketball, but normally, as Jim Nantz was formerly the voice for the Final Four and the championship game, he would literally transition after in the game and start talking about his coverage of the Masters happened this week. He's covering the Masters. Don't worry, that's good. But practice round that would have started yesterday for the people, the gatherers of folks who want to be on the greens, did not happen. Suspended indefinitely until they have some resolution, i.e., there's way too much rain. There's way too much going on, and the rounds were evacuated. Grounds were shut down at 11:25 local time, which should have been happening for the actual run of practice, suspended due to inclement weather. There's still inclement weather around Augusta, and there's still initially high waters and flooding that needs to be cleaned up for the actual games, the matches, the golf being played later this week. The club delayed opening gates due to expected severe weather, but allowed patrons around 8 a.m. to see what would happen, and then they basically killed it about 11 o'clock noon time. Augusta National Chairman Fred Ridley expressed disappointment over the cancellation, but emphasized that safety of everyone at the club was the highest priority, stating, "We look forward to welcoming back our Monday patrons next year, as well as celebrating the wonderful 89th Masters tournament ahead of this week." Now, that's part of the luster, part of the wonder. People who can't get tickets to get in to see the actual rounds, come in and watch the players just putt around on Monday. Literally watch them, pull out the gloves, just putt around, talk to stuff, folks, just have fun on the day. It's a very light, very merry day where there's nothing on the line except maybe getting some exposure to see who can draw the most fans in the day. But the weather forecast for the week is favorable for their cooler weather. Conditions should be dry, and things will moderate itself for the opening round come Thursday. Weather in Augusta looking good for Thursday, so you'll get a chance to see it all on whatever. And they have a great expanded coverage. So because of the streaming services, you can watch it literally all day long if you want to get your Masters in on the weekend. So check it out if you're a golf fan. Not the biggest golf fans, but I check it out because it's conversational, of course. I'm going to have to give a little love, give some props, give a little respect to Marjorie Taylor Greene. The headline for the story reads, Marjorie Taylor Greene asked followers to Venmo her son beer money in bizarre post. It's not that bizarre. Let me follow with the robot editor, and then let me step on my own toes and give MTG a little bit of props here. The representative from Georgia, the Republican representative from Georgia, posted a message on her personal X, formerly Twitter, celebrating her son's 22nd birthday. The post read, "It's my baby boy's birthday. He's 22. I love him so much. Buy him a beer." I only do impressions when I know they're bad, and that's a bad one. Of course, in that post was her son's Venmo account. It was deleted shortly after, but captured in screenshots by various media outlets. It drew criticism from various quarters. Journalist Yashar Ali highlighted the incongruity of sitting member of Congress reportedly with a net worth of $22 million, soliciting funds from the public during a period of economic uncertainty. Ethical concerns were raised regarding the solicitation. The House Ethics Committee's guidelines state that members may not request gifts for themselves or others, even if such gifts might otherwise be permissible. The situation is reminiscent of previous instances where representatives have faced scrutiny for leveraging their positions for personal or familial gain. There you go. Right now, Representative Greene has not issued any further statements or clarifications regarding the post. Here's where I show MTG some love. It's her baby boy's birthday. It's just like all the people, on their personal accounts who drop their Venmo accounts so that you can send them money on their birthday. Why not? It's like all the people, that you go through the drive-thru and they poke their head out and they got, a pin with cash hanging from it. It's their birthday. Give them a couple dollars. That's how it goes. Mama Bear is just showing some love for her baby on her 22nd. There's nothing wrong with that. There's a lot wrong with what she does on the rest of her time and the other 364 days of the year. But this one, there might be some ethics concerns because of who she is and who she represents. And it might be sort of a, hey, y'all people who I represent, y'all want me to keep in Congress? Y'all give my baby boy a couple dollars so she can buy some beers. Bad impression, of course. But on the other hand, I see this one as fairly harmless, fairly benign, especially with all the other things she's literally doing, including yelling at reporters saying that you're not from here. Go deal with the rapists and murderers back in your country because we got them here and we're trying to do this stuff here. Paraphrasing, but that's essentially what she said. It's an end of an era that most of us have sort of, maybe got kind of not thought about lately. How often do you actually watch the Home Shopping Network or QVC? So something, to be honest, when I'm here, just sitting here, it's a thing that I watch pretty much religiously because most stuff I'm doing when I'm editing new stuff, there is benign TV on. And if it's, too much news or the same story that's being told over and over again, I'll put it on a Hallmark movie that I can half listen to because all the plots are the same. Or I'll watch some QVC Home Shopping Network and see if it helps on my actual sales skills. QVC, actually known as Quarright Retail Incorporated, the parent company of QVC and Home Shopping Network, is shutting down. QVC actually planning on closing their campus at St. Petersburg, Florida, as part of a strategic consolidation effort. Operations are merged at the two places where QVC Studio Park headquarters in Westchester, Pennsylvania is. All the Florida people are coming up north to do the work up there for both the channels. It's part of Core8's initiative to enhance the focus on live shopping and streamline operations. The company anticipates the HSN will commence live broadcasting from the Westchester facility by the third quarter of 2025. But despite the physical relocation, HSN will maintain its distinct brand identity and continue operating in television channels and digital platforms. There will not be a different home shopping network or QVC. They will still continue to be their separate brands or separate entities. They still will have their own love for each other, but separate lives, if you will. But it means consolidation of jobs, about 900 layoffs, primary employees in St. Petersburg, because they're going to shut down that operation. Some staff will remain through the end of 2025 to assist with the transition. Some may move to Massachusetts, but it's going to be a lot. The Core8 company is expressing gratitude for the Florida community for 47 years of hosting HSN specifically and being committed to the brand continuing with its transition. It's the broader spectrum for retail and trends right now. And this is not necessarily a tariff thing, although it kind of is looking forward. But this is something that has been in the works for a while. Having so many things out there, using Amazon as example, because people are showcasing whatnot. Not many people are actually spending time to sit there to watch for hours for something magical to pop up to throw the credit card number at their television set. They'll just get a whim, go to Amazon, click it, and it'll be there in hours. It's there. The shopping experience has changed. The entertainment part of shopping experience has changed, and that's what's going here. We will miss you, QVC headquarters in St. Petersburg. I guess we're not missing HSN or QVC because they're not quite going away and not merging as of yet. And our final story, another one we haven't actually covered deeply in detail in these shows here, but we've covered the deportation stuff. We covered the ICE stuff in various hits here or there to keep it going. This is an ongoing story that now gets a resolution, but not a finality yet because it answers some questions, but leaves some remaining onto who will this happen to next? And is this your fault? Two questions that are very important. The headline reads, Trump supporter's wife released after 49 days in ICE custody. Camila Munoz, a Peruvian national and wife of Wisconsin resident Bradley Bartell, was released from U.S. Immigration Customs Service Enforcement, ICE custody, after being detained for 49 days. Munoz had overstayed her J-1 work study visa during COVID-19 in the pandemic and was in the process of obtaining permanent residency. She is married. She is trying to work the green card process and didn't get everything paperwork done in time. She married Bartell during the COVID-19 time, so, working on staying around. The couple was returning from the honeymoon in Puerto Rico when Munoz was detained at the airport. Despite the ordeal, Bartell, a supporter of President Donald Trump, said he does not regret his vote. He acknowledged the need for immigrant enforcement, but expressed concern over the handling of his wife's case, specifically emphasizing necessity for reforms to improve the efficiency and communications within the immigration system. There's your catch-22. She was released on $3,000 bond and is awaiting her immigration court date, which still must happen. That's the due process part that she should have got in the initial detention. The couple continues to navigate the complexities of the immigration process as they work towards resolving Munoz's residency status. She is married to an American citizen. That doesn't give her the right to stay here. She has to work out the paperwork on its own. And if she wants citizenship herself, that's a whole nother test, a literal test. But we have seen these things in many cases. This is one of the more vocal ones, just a regular guy who voted for Trump because the immigrants need to be sent back, who married an immigrant, who overstayed her visa, who was held in detention, who was detained for a bit, and paid that price that many people are paying who have mishandled very simple things, overstaying the visa by a little bit, as opposed to the major things, being gang members. And we're actually sending people who aren't gang members as gang members. Unintended consequences have consequences. They have results. And that is what we're seeing in these push for more immigration and detention and deportations going forward. Not that people who should not be here should be forced to go somewhere else, but the people that are being picked up are not the people we're told we are targeting first. We've wrapped up the storylines of the storylines. These are the 8 stories we promised you that you actually told us to talk about. Here is our teaser section. We're teasing this story here, and in the teasing of it, explaining how it can be one of the stories like we talked about mere moments ago. Now, the headline for the teaser story reads, Massachusetts bill seeks to ban prop bets, impose other sporting bets regulations. Apologies for that. Interesting statistics are coming about on the world of sports betting, which is now the organized sports betting that we all see online, based on a lot of regulations taken off to allow sports betting first to leave from places like Nevada, which was basically the only place you could pay a bet here in the States, or offshores, to essentially casino like resorts or casinos themselves across the nation, and of course online on various apps and websites, including ESPN, because it's about making money. But that's sort of the thing. So the people who are actually putting the money in there, and the money that's being kept by the people running these things, are people who really have the least to lose. So the most to lose, the most to gain, but the most to lose as well. Totally butchering that one because I'm going too long on the explanation. A state senator in Massachusetts, where a lot of sports betting is happening, is trying to get the prop bets off of the apps for at least his state, maybe going further, because those are your first taste of the nectar that is a gambling addiction. Trying to impose other sports betting regulations because there are people who have issues with this one, and the people who are going to try to put up their rent money because the $5 free bonus they got that it turned to $50. Maybe they put in $500 of their own money. It can turn to $5,000, $500,000 on a good bet. Maybe. It will not, but maybe in their minds, and that's when things get bubbling. Do you want to talk about this one? This is, of course, a state bill. This is in Massachusetts, coming out of Boston.com, but this is something that if it passes or gets enough notice, maybe we'll see what's going on. The numbers for people who bet during the NCAA championship and the numbers for the ratings that are up, one, because it's the last time you'll see Kenny and Chuck do the thing, and two, because of all the interweaving of sports betting into the process, has been massive. This is a big story. If you want to talk about it tomorrow from this particular one or make it grow from there, you be a part of our coverage. You be a part of the board of directors. You be on the team that picks the news stories. You go to our feeds. We have links on Facebook and X. Facebook.com/This Is Conversation Project and X.com/TH_conversation. It's a very simple deal. That's all you have to do is do what you're doing right now. Be engaged and use your finger to hit a button or a few buttons or type a few words. Click the emoji face or the like symbol for whatever it is you're watching. It's a heart on YouTube and the heart on the or it's the heart on X, and it's whatever emoji you want to put towards your feelings on it on Facebook. Give me some comments on what you think about the story and how you think it's going to go, how you think it should be covered, and of course, share it with other folks as well. The more engagement a story gets into a day part, the better chance we have of talking about it in the next day part. So this story will be part of what's in the batch for today and a tiny bit of tomorrow morning. And when I pull them up about 3 in the morning, I'll look at them and see which stories are in the top half of the 30 or so we'll get in the day. We'll pick 8 of those stories and give them to you just like we did moments ago before. Now, if you don't like the story we're picking in particular, you can email me and say, hey, why didn't you do this one? Or I like this one. Or are you talking about this thing here? And we can talk about what we're covering. It's because it's a conversation of stories that are topical, not just hitting on tariffs all day long. Tariffs are important. We should explain them. But we should also talk about other things as well. Now, yesterday, we actually teased the story of Israel Israel basically having about 50% of control of Gaza right now and squeezing Palestinians into smaller spaces as they're trying to control the actual war efforts against Hamas. A lot of things wrapped in that one. Maybe it was too heavy on the day. Like I said, I wanted to talk some fun stuff about basketball. We squeezed it out for Harriet Tubman because sometimes the news does make itself. However, you do help us pick all the stories, pick what's going on there. So with your engagement, you let me know the blank canvas to get started on what stories to give for the 8 stories tomorrow. You don't get to pick the sponsors, or normally you don't pick the sponsors unless you ask for it a lot. And this is one that some of you have actually sort of asked for or asked for talked about actually talk about actually the use of this. We've actually gained a lot of folks who are now fans of sports integrity because they've heard about it from us, and they are mostly sports fans. So, one person was out there looking for some movie stuff, and I think they found something they were looking for. But Sports Integrity is a site that allows you to get memorabilia. How you like that one? And it's memorabilia from many sports related things. Some things are signed, some things are just cool. I got a LSU helmet behind me. It's not signed, it's just a little prop back there that allows you to show your love of sports, show your love for the sporting world, show love for your team, or send something to someone to show your love for them by giving them part of your team, their team, whatever. But what you get from them is guarantees that what you're buying is authentic, i.e., it's something that's licensed by the school, licensed by the team, something that was owned by the person that has the signature sign that was there. It's not something that someone just bought off eBay and scribbled some stuff on it and placarded it and sent it to you. Everything is guaranteed, 100% guaranteed on certified items. And if they aren't right, they will pay you back. They will fix it. They'll do what they can. Signed helmets, signed jerseys, signed baseball, signed stuff. All the things are there, plus memorabilia from movie stuff as well, signed hats, the little placards with pictures in them. All those things are there with quality you can trust by Sports Integrity. Now, use our link at our website so that we get a small commission for bringing it into the store. This is theconversationproject.com/sports integrity. This is theconversationproject.com/sports integrity. All of our affiliate links, all of our sales is essentially affiliates. So we get something from you buying. Even when I put out book sales, they are going through the Amazon seller or the Amazon seller list. So you're buying them from them, not from the stack I have in my house. You're buying them from them, and we get a small commission off those book sales there. So it's not the full book, if you will. So what you're doing from buying from our sponsors, go to our website and see more sponsors you want to, is literally helping us fund the stuff here. So check out the sponsor list at the website, or just go to this one here for Sports Integrity, and you will get a chance to get the things to highlight whatever. If you're a Florida fan, you are jonesing right now. If you are a UConn fan, you are all about that life. You might want to get some extra gear, and Sports Integrity will make sure you can get some good gear and guaranteed the gear that is authenticated. The Conversation Project lives online at this. It's theconversationproject.com. At our website, we have sponsors links. We have links to partners where you can become a partner and help us also fund and get a little extra insight into what we do to make things go round around here. You can do that just for free by just following us on our feeds at Facebook and X and telling us the news stories that we're doing, because that's the most important thing we get. If you tell us news stories, we'll try our best to give you the right stories and engaging stories so that people will do what they can to get to here. And, of course, emailing us with comments, concerns about how the production is, how the news is, how things go in general. It's all that. It's all there. Plus, the website has links to past episodes so you can see how we progress, how we're doing things, and something if you may have missed. You may ask a question about us not covering something. We may have covered it early, and it just didn't get the real traction that it is late, so we may have talked about it and just not gone back to it. And, of course, you can sign up for our email newsletter and find other places to find us. TikTok, one is very famous, one is very popular. Also, we have audio podcasts on various platforms wherever your pods are cast. Find more about us, US, and us, Conversation Project, at the Conversation Project's website. This is conversationproject.com. One less coughing fit for the road. Sorry for that. And some burps from swallowing too much air while doing the podcast. It is amazing. This has been one of our from at least from the first stage standpoint, better shows going forward, and we're glad you've been along with us for this one. Whether you're watching us on long form here on X, on Facebook, or on YouTube, we thank you for being a supporter of us here. Make sure you're actually subscribed so you have more numbers there. We are growing in subscriptions on our YouTube, even though we're having a bit of a down turn for the end of the month, going in this month for some of the views and revenues. We are growing in stature. People who are stopping by are sticking around, so we thank you so much for that one. Hopefully soon we'll have enough people who will stick around for some more live things, so we can do more live things and have more fun in those things. Yes, this is live, but it's live to tape. You know, that's how it works. But it's been Tuesday, the April 8th edition things you might not have heard. I'm glad to be a part of your life. I'm glad you're a part of my life as well. Make sure you're staying hydrated and limber and on task for all those things you are here to do in this world, because we need you to do them. Life is meant to be a marathon. Don't do anything on purpose to try to turn it into a sprint. More talk about more stories, and you are already engaging in them. So you let me know what stories to talk about come tomorrow. Love you. Mean it. Let's do this for a Wednesday, shall we?